What if Stalin lived longer, a darker 20th century? Imagine a world where the iron fist of Joseph Stalin never loosened its grip. A world where the Cold War burned hotter and the specter of nuclear annihilation loomed larger. What if Stalin hadn't died in 1953? The death of Stalin in 1953 triggered a power struggle. But what if he had lived? The ensuing years would have been drastically different. The power vacuum would still exist, but Stalin's continued presence would likely mean a slower, more controlled transition. His loyalists, like Molotov and Beria, would maintain their positions, ensuring the continuation of his policies. Purges and paranoia, hallmarks of Stalin's rule, would likely persist. Dissent would be crushed swiftly and brutally, solidifying his control. The thaw under Khrushchev, with its limited reforms and denunciation of Stalin, would be delayed or even averted entirely. This would have profound consequences for the Soviet Union and its satellite states. Cold War tensions would likely escalate. Without Khrushchev's attempts at de-escalation, the world would be on a more precarious path. The Berlin Wall, a symbol of division, might be constructed earlier. The need to contain the flow of people fleeing the east would become even more urgent. The Cuban Missile Crisis, already a terrifying moment, could become even more dangerous. Stalin's unpredictable nature and unwavering commitment to communism could lead to a catastrophic miscalculation. The long-term consequences of Stalin's extended rule are even more chilling. The Soviet Union would likely face deeper economic stagnation and increased social unrest. Stalin's unwavering emphasis on heavy industry and military spending would continue, neglecting consumer goods and innovation. This would widen the technological gap with the West. The space race might see early Soviet victories, fueled by Stalin's obsession with demonstrating Soviet superiority. However, this would come at the expense of other sectors of the economy. The Eastern Bloc would remain firmly under Moscow's control. Any attempts at reform or independence would be met with swift and brutal suppression. Dissent and reform attempts, such as the Prague Spring and the Hungarian Revolution, would be crushed even more brutally. The Iron Curtain would become even more impenetrable. The world would face a higher risk of nuclear conflict. Stalin's paranoia and willingness to take risks could lead to a devastating global war. The world today would look significantly different if Stalin had lived longer. The collapse of the Soviet Union would likely be delayed and potentially more violent. The world map would be altered. The political landscape of Eastern Europe and Russia would be drastically different. China's rise as a global power might be affected. The dynamics of the Cold War and the relationship between the Soviet Union and China would be altered. The USSR's influence in Asia would be prolonged. The spread of communism and the support for communist regimes in the region would continue. The legacy of Stalinism, purges, and human rights suppression would cast a long shadow. The world would be more authoritarian, less free, and more unstable. The political landscape of Eastern Europe and Russia would be profoundly impacted. The path to democracy and freedom would be much more difficult. The question of what if is a powerful one. It forces us to confront the fragility of freedom and the devastating consequences of tyranny. How would the world be different if Stalin had lived longer? The answer is a sobering reminder of the importance of vigilance and the constant struggle for a more just and equitable world. What are your thoughts on this alternate history? Share your ideas and perspectives in the comments below. Let's discuss the potential ramifications of a world where Stalin's reign of terror continued. If you enjoyed this exploration of history and its what-ifs, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Your support helps us create more videos that delve into the fascinating and complex world of history. Thank you for watching. We appreciate your engagement and look forward to hearing your thoughts.